Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Everyone should be getting on in the next couple seconds.
How many people usually take this call? Anywhere from,
We kind of try to keep it down. It's gone really heavy lately, but it's usually between 25 and 30 people.
Oh.
But we're trying to keep it on the closer of the 25 just because Charlie likes to do individual talks and stuff.
go ahead.
But it's been pretty good. I'm excited about tonight's talk.
Good.
Very cool. Bum, 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 bum.
Check 1 2 check. Okay.
Yep.
All right, there's 3 people. Here we go. 1 2 3. What a crowd. Jazz is on.
Hello. Hey, Delaney and Lincoln, how are you doing?
Hey, Lisa, we're doing great. How are you?
Good.
That's great.
Email me when you guys want to catch up this week.
Yes,
Okay, great.
we'd love to. We'll email you right after the call, Lisa.
Perfect.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey. Oh, what hoodie are you wearing?
An ex-boyfriend's.
Everybody's got to be wearing the merch, guys.
His was in the
I got new
wrong
hats
one.
too. The new hats are crazy, Lisa. I gotta get them up. The new hats are nuts.
I need to see the hat.
Collab. It's a collab with Jack and Jokers. It's amazing.
Oh, very cool. Hello, everyone. Pablo, hello.
Dakota,
Hello.
what's up, Dakota? Guys, Dakota's
Hi.
on one. Dakota, I am so proud of you.
You're literally the best. Oh my god.
Why am I proud of you?
you?
She's doing her thing.
Hey guys,
How
before
you
we
doing
start
season?
tonight, we got a lot of people coming on. It's a big night. Before we start, Dakota, tell everyone about your experience.
Well, Charlie set me up this past weekend and I wrote for an artist. It was really fun. Got to meet some cool people. Super grateful. Just gonna keep writing and doing my thing. So thank you. It means the world. Like I had the most incredible weekend. Yeah. Super excited.
Yeah, but you're talented. You're doing great. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Everybody's coming on, guys. I just, we're going to start this thing because you know what? I'm on time. So you all be on time. We've got a bunch of people on tonight. Very special guest. I'd like to introduce to you someone that I met. He was a baby DJ. He was a baby music director in New York City at 103.5. The new KTU is they took an old sort of disco station and made it into a massive rhythmic pop station. And then this guy learned so much, he figured I need to get out of terrestrial radio because he didn't want to be, caught dead in that game of terrestrial radio, which he was spot right on. And ended up going over to Pandora and transforming. I remember meeting him and the founder of Pandora, Tim Westergren, and Tim was a tech guy, and there was no heart and soul there was none. When you think about Pandora, it just felt like this heartless soul, like the CEO and founder. And what Jeff was able to do was make it matter, be able to figure out a way to have music promoted, highlight things. Because Pandora, as you know, it's a DSP, but it's also algorithmic based, as opposed to playlist. It's very, very different. It's sort of digital internet radio to a certain degree, based upon algorithms, and a lot of it's based upon your own personal listening in your house, right? Customized and tailored for you. But he did a great job at Pandora, and then the big boys came in and bought Pandora. It became Sirius XM Pandora, this big clusterfuck. And Jeff was there for the transition and decided to leave, and now is one of the biggest consultants in the entertainment business globally. Russia, doing everything from NFTs to working with artists and brands. Very, very powerful. I'm going to see if I can get Jeff to do some stuff at Music Mastery when we go live in Miami for our mastermind. Have him on stage and do a really great session, Tony Robbins style, because this is Music Mastery. So say hello to my good brother, Jeff Z.
What's up, everybody?
Jeff,
Hello,
Hey,
Jeff.
Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
How are you all doing?
Good. How
How
are
you
you?
doing? Good, thanks.
So Jeff, I
Well,
wanted to
again,
get you
Charlie. I
on.
don't know what it is. I traveled to Nashville and I start using y'all. I got to get it out of my system.
You in Nashville right now?
No, I'm in Jersey, but I go to Nashville often.
Okay,
and
I'm there as well, a lot as well.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
I
know.
wanted to just say, Jeff, I think there's a lot of mystery from independent artists on how the hell they break, how they get to people like you, and you're running highly curated platform, whatever it is today. It's, you're still the guy that's ran highly curated platform. So I'd like us to talk about, when you're running a Pandora and you're dealing with the artist community as one of the heads of artist relations and all. Yeah, you wore a lot of hats there. How the hell were you actually championing stuff, because it's so data and algorithmic based? How were you getting goosebumps like we would do, play a record, we'd be in a car, we'd play Shakira Hips Online, go smash, goes on the radio and blows up? Those days are gone. It's over. How did you fight the algorithm to actually give something a shot? Give us a little
Behind the scenes.
analysis. Give us behind the scenes on, like, you left terrestrial radio to go to digital streaming service that needed help because, as I said before, it was sort of it just didn't have a personality. It was just what it was, and wasn't sexy. It was just saying that a product that people like, but not enough were willing to pay for it. So I think you helped fix that solution. But tell us a little bit about your journey, and then sort of what we're talking about as it relates to artists.
Yeah. I mean, I think Charlie kind of walked through it. I was at terrestrial radio for what was 12 years. In the mid 90s, when I started in terrestrial radio, it was it. That's all there was. There wasn't any smartphones. And I remember Charlie had the first cell phone, and he made sure we all knew about it. But we saw the terrestrial radio starting to disappear as the generation started to change. My parents get in the car and they still turn on the radio because that's what they know. And my mom will drive around in her 98 Malibu, and she knows how to click on to Z100 or Q104, whatever she listens to. And then the next generation came, and that was us. We were trying to figure out what's next. I remember being at radio, and at the end of the night, my head of sales would always come by. And whenever he came by, he would come by to just say hi, or he would come by with a bottle in hand. And if he came by with a bottle in hand, I knew that he needed ad space. And that meant, terrestrial radio runs an average at that time of about 12 minutes of commercials an hour. We got to a point that we were running up to 18 minutes of commercials an hour. Now, I could see by the demo of most people on this phone, I don't think most of you have ever sat through more than 4 minutes of commercials on any device, whether you were listening to something, music, or you were watching anything on TV. So the days of pausing for 4+ minutes of commercials and thinking your audience isn't going somewhere started to disappear. And that person that used to come into my office with the drinks in hand went to work for Pandora. And we would go out and have these, quarterly steak dinners. And he came to me one time and he said, Pandora is a really interesting platform, has 50 million unique users on it. Pandora is just in the United States, not Canada, not outside the US, not South America, just the straight up US. 50 million uniques 8 years ago. And Spotify wasn't in the game yet. Amazon wasn't in the game yet. Apple was still a download service. So you were either stealing music with, some of the pirate services, or you were just listening to Apple Music because you had your catalog already in there. And he says, we have 50 million unique users and the industry can care less about us. There's no artist interaction. The labels aren't using Pandora. Can you come in and help us figure out why? And I said, well, what's the philosophy of Pandora? It was built for the middle-class musician. So they considered a middle-class musician the person that went to work all day at their day job, and then at night would go and perform at a club, at a nightclub, or would go and have that garage band with their friends. And we're maybe making, an extra 5 to 10 grand a year having fun being a musician. What he wanted to do is he wanted that person to be able to quit their day job and to make music their everyday experience. So in order to do that, you need to work with the labels, because the labels are the ones that the minute that person gets out of their garage and becomes semi-successful, they're all lining up at your door to get you to sign your life away to them, get rid of your publishing, get rid of your masters. They take everything. Thanks. Have a nice day. Here's a nice paycheck, and you go on your way. And then you're locked into them for 3, 4, 5 albums, whatever it may be. So I started to have conversations with Charlie and other high-level executives as to why they weren't interacting with Pandora. Now, remember, this was 8.5 years ago. So there wasn't a Spotify. And the whole reason was when I went to, somebody like L.A. Reid at the time and said, Jennifer Lopez has 30 million people on platform that are listening to Jennifer Lopez once a month. Do you care about that? And he was like, absolutely. How do I interact with them? That's great that she has these fans, but what do I do with them? And that was where the light bulb went off for Pandora. That was where we realized in order to get the artists engaged, you had to have marketing and you had to have some sort of outlet for the artists to be able to talk to their fans. And although you have Spotify and Apple and Amazon that are kind of the 3 big leaders in the space, Pandora was the first and still one of the only where an artist can run an artist audio message, which is basic liner. Hey, this is Ariana Grande and you're listening to my new single. Click here to buy tickets to my tour. Click here to buy tickets to buy my album. Click here to purchase my merch. It's the only platform that still does that. And although their audience, sits at about 68 million, which is not a bad number, in comparison to the worldwide companies like Spotify and Amazon and Apple, it's a small player, but it's never going to be a competitor to those companies, because what it's there for is for people that transition out of radio because they don't want to hear 16 to 18 minutes of commercials an hour, or that jock on that radio station just doesn't shut up and they want to hear their favorite music. And they go on and they type in whatever band they're listening to and they hear that artist and like artists. And I'm not here to tell anybody to listen to Pandora. I don't work there anymore, so I can care less if you ever check it out. But what I am saying is every one of these DSPs, they have their niche. And Pandora's is to get people to leave terrestrial radio. Amazon is to be a complete extension of the rest of the Amazon products. Apple's pretty much the same. Spotify is super unique because it is that one platform that's a standalone that probably everybody that's on this Zoom has listened to or does listen to on, once a month basis. They've done a great job. And as far as the curation side of things, you're an emerging artist and you want to get on these platforms, you have to understand the platform. It's not about, hey, I am an emerging artist and I have a brand new single and who do I pay to get my songs on to New Music Friday? Because if you got your song, if you paid somebody whatever it is to get onto New Music Friday and you were positioned 65 on New Music Friday, 65th song in that list, you have a 1 in 5,000 chance of somebody hearing your song. If that one person out of 5,000 hears your song and skips it, goes thumbs it down, changes, doesn't do any interaction with your song, your first week is going to go like this because they're listening to it and you're going to fall off a diving board. And you just gave Spotify all they need to never have any interaction with you whatsoever, because all they're going to do is tell you that your song didn't work. And that's it. That's all it takes. So the slow growth, believing in what the product is that you're putting out there and letting it live in the system for a short amount of time. Nobody on this phone has any music out right now that I think somebody is rushing to get onto Spotify because it has to be in the top 20 of New Music Friday. So let your music start to work itself into the system. Grow your fan base, prove who you are. Don't go buy 5 million fans from Bangladesh. Everybody knows that that's bullshit. Let your fans start to become real. Let them interact with you. Let them say that they hate your stuff on YouTube or like your stuff on YouTube. And then just start to build it up slowly. It's the only way to make it real.
Awesome.
Let's talk about that. So first of all, Jeff, so just tell us a little bit more about, so you're there. What was some of the transformation stuff you did?
So again, platform had no interaction with artists. The first thing we did was build out what we call artist marketing platform, which is now known as AMP. So on Pandora, if you went to ampplaybook.com, it'll give you the whole back end of how you can market on Pandora. It's AMPPLAYBOOK.com. And that is not much different than what you're going to do with Spotify or Amazon or Apple. It's kind of a back end of, hey, I'm an artist. What do I do? And we created that for the emerging artist. The other thing we did was we direct deals. We knew that it was important to work, like I said, directly with the labels and the artists themselves. So we figured out how to have them benefit more from when their artists play on the platform. What did that mean? That meant an increase in rates, an increase in how much we paid artists, how much we paid songwriters and publishers. And we had to negotiate those rates. There's nobody that's ever going to say, oh my God, the DSPs pay way too much to the artists or they pay just the right amount. No one's ever going to say that. But there are also services that weren't around 10 years and they're new and they expose your music to a brand new audience. Those artists that are sitting there and complaining. I saw an article that was out last week, Charlie. I don't know if you saw this about Spotify, where I think it was the top 10% of the artists make 90% of the money or something like that. That's, if you're complaining about how much money you're making on Spotify, then you're probably in the wrong business. You need to use Spotify as a springboard. You need to use Apple as a springboard to get your music out there so you can, once COVID's over, get touring, get in front of your fans, build that fan base, go beyond Spotify, get yourself your own personal cryptocurrency. You have a fan base, you have 5,000 people, give 500 of them, Josh coins. And those Josh coins you hand out to your top 500 fans. And those 500 fans can then go to, they can be the first person to go on your page and hear new music. You can send them merch. They can voyeur in while you're in the studio writing a song. They can possibly get a piece of your content. And once you give it out to those 500 fans, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell the other 4,500. And they're all going to go, how do I get some of that currency? And now, bang, all of a sudden you're making money because they're exchanging your currency. You know how much that costs you to start? $0. cost you nothing. A company called rally.com, RALLY.com is actually rally.io. RALLY.io is one of these that's creating a cryptocurrency. There's 10, 15 of them out there. Start to look into other ways.
They make the NFT.
It's not an NFT. It's different because it's just a cryptocurrency coin. It's not a piece of art. It's a gold piece. It looks like a gold coin. And it's just a currency exchange. They work in NFTs. If you wanted to go and build your NFT for them as well, you can do that. If I was making an NFT, I'd go right to Nifty and spend about 4 hours on Nifty learning from the back end. You know, what is an NFT? What is it about? How do I make it? How do I make money off of it? You know, probably since we've been on this phone, I would say 1,000 NFTs dropped. Every one of them will probably at the end of the day be worth about $5, unless it was, you know, major artists. And I mean, you know, artists, not music artists, but artists that put something out. Music artists are doing them. Halsey put one out last week. Maddie put one out last week. You know, there's a ton of artists that are putting out NFTs, but it's a wild west right now. You know, what I'm talking about with currency and with NFTs are two completely different things. So you gotta really figure out what makes sense for you. I don't think I answered anything that Charlie asked me to answer, by the way, because I don't even remember what he said.
And I don't really give a shit. So we have, you know, there's a lot of people on the call. This is a premium situation. I assimilate to what we do with like Tony Robbins Platinum. There's no losers on here. Everyone that I mess with everyone so hard. And they're real artists and they're working hard. What are you seeing? Jeff, let's pretend you are a curator, whether I don't care where you're at. People still want exposure. So we talk about TikTok right now. It's clearly a place where things are spreading and breaking and going viral and whatever else. What got your attention? Now, I know you were in somewhat of a bubble because you had all the major labels, you know, just surrounding you, right? They were surrounding you at dinners and lunches, and you never really got a big head about it, but it's a lot, right? Hey, Jeff. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. We call it, hey, guys, we call it, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Check out
Hey,
the
bud.
record.
What are you
Let's
doing
get
tonight? Want to grab a
tonight.
drink? Hey, bud. How did you, as a real music man, find stuff like, you know, Dakota played us an amazing song last week, or Steph, who was live last night and I missed him, so pissed off. How did you like say, hey, I'm going to break something, knowing there wasn't a major label behind it? And we're seeing a big shift to that, right? We're seeing a big shift today, just in the world of like people want to break independently, and if there's a deal to be made with a major, then you got to sort of prove that people like you, you have traction. What are some of the things you looked for?
I'll tell you one thing. Curators want to break emerging unsigned artists more than they want to play the next big record. Every one of them has an ego. So if you find a curator that breaks your song and you become the next big artist, you just gave them the biggest set of brass balls that they're going to walk around and tell everybody that they found you. So
Yeah.
the problem is there's a million of you out there trying to figure out how to get that curator music.
So I keep on talking.
Somebody's curators search for new music. You know, like they'll go and look on different websites and they get music sent to them. Some of them don't listen to shit. You know, don't be surprised if you send it to the top pop programmer in the country right now, and they haven't even listened to the new songs that are going on their playlist this coming Friday, because that happens, and that happens across all genres. So I was always excited to kind of hear from somebody, you know, somebody that was listening to something that somebody else told them about. I loved, and I missed this, you know, I loved walking around the hallways and asking an intern or anybody that was walking around, and everybody now walks around with earbuds. I was always the person, and I love the Apple earbuds because you could pop them out of somebody's ear, but I would always walk behind somebody and go like this and say, what were you listening to? And while they were bending down to find their earbud and put it back in their ear, I had them for 3 minutes and tell me what they were listening to. And it made me so much cooler when they told me something that I didn't know, because the first person that I talked to, they'd be like, what are you doing? Like, oh man, I'm listening to so on. Holy shit, how'd you hear about them? And it was always through somebody else, you know, and it's just that's the way you're discovering music right now. And going and looking at different playlists from different countries. You know, there's a site called Chartmetrics, and Chartmetrics gives you the opportunity to go and look at all the viral songs and all the charts across every country. So I can go right now and find out what is the top 10 songs in the Philippines on Spotify. And while I'm doing that, I can guarantee you, especially the Philippines, that the top A&R executives in the world right now are scouring those exact lists. And they're going on to all of these websites that are, you know, these websites, these blogs, they're going on and looking at what's the top most played songs on TikTok right now. You know, what is being played on Deezer right now? Is Deezer a good service? No, it sucks. But there's people on there and they're passionate fans. If you're spending your time on Slacker or Deezer or Tidal, it's because you're music fans. You know, you're not just doing what everybody else is doing. You're going to these services that are a little left of center because they're playing something a little left of center. And that's the kind of music you like. So don't go where everybody else is going. You know, yeah, TikTok. I have an 11-year-old daughter. I put her in a car and I'm listening to a new Music Friday, or I'm listening to a playlist that RCA sends me of their new songs. And my daughter's sitting in the back seat singing all these songs word for word. And I'm like, how the hell did you hear these? Oh, blah, blah, blah was doing it on TikTok, or this person on YouTube was doing a makeup tutorial with that song playing, you know, and then my son's the opposite. He's playing video games and he's on FIFA, you know, and I heard the new Glass Animals song, 4 months ago? Well, he heard it 5 months ago, you know, because they featured it on FIFA. And the guys from Electronic Arts that are the music people over there, they're getting these songs delivered to them 3-4 months in advance because they got to program it into the games. So they're not running on a release schedule. You just got to look outside, you know, you got to look left of center. And that's where you have to deliver your music to as well. You know, find out who these people are that are curators. If you're on LinkedIn, type in a service and type in the word music, type in Electronic Arts music, type in Netflix music, you know, type in Revlon music. I'll make you a bet it'll take you to somebody that's involved with somebody that handles the music for one of these services.
Jeff, I think you're so smart. You know, a lot of people don't even understand the power of LinkedIn. Okay. And we did this with Jason Campbell. I don't know where Jason Campbell is, but you know, Calm is a big app. And we just went on to LinkedIn and typed in Calm head of music. And guess what came up? Calm head of music.
Say hi, guys.
Oh,
And hey, Pops, where's my puppy? Peach.
I had to take him
Oh,
because he's
how
going to bark at
cute.
FedEx man. So instead of him barking at FedEx, I figured I'd hold on to him for a second. But go ahead, Charlie.
A lot of what we have to do, a lot of what we want to do is to connect with people. And everyone, here's my famous line that I want Andrada Popa to put up. Okay. Everybody likes new. Everyone likes the new thing, the new car, the new hoodie, the new song. So you got to think of these curators or gatekeepers of any platform that Jeff's talking to. They're out there and they'd like to break you more so than a label telling them to, because people don't like to be told what to do, right? They like new.
You know what somebody said to me once, Charlie? I thought was the funniest thing. I said to somebody, we were talking about LinkedIn. And I said, why, you don't go on LinkedIn? They're like, no, I'm not looking for a job. And I said, well, LinkedIn is a job service. I thought LinkedIn was a networking service. Yeah, but you only go on there if you're looking for a job. Well, I mean, I go on LinkedIn. I'm probably on LinkedIn every day. I find everybody that I follow and I go to the feed. You know, do I go on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and you name it? Yeah, I do. But I probably spend more time on LinkedIn because I find things that's relevant to me, because you know, I'm following people or following groups that have a lot of value. And then, like I said, I'll go in and say, oh, this is a group of music mastery people. Let me look into all of them. Who are they? What do they do? You know, what are they fans of? Oh, well, this person's friends with this person. Oh, it'd be really cool if he would connect me to that person, because I'm trying to get, you know, something on that service. I'm trying to learn more about what they got going on. Man, it's like,
It's more professional.
And
So,
let's
it's more
and let's talk
professional.
about this. So we have our good friend Bonnie. Bonnie's in Germany. Raise your hand, Bonnie.
Hi.
Raise your hand. There she is. And Bonnie's making crazy music, and she's in Berlin. She's trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I, think about that part of the world? She's making pop music, really American, North American pop music, global pop music. They're all saying, like, where do I get a start? Is it just TikTok, or how do we have someone give us an opportunity for the public to